Hello everyone. This video is designed to walk you through the process of collecting your data for your country projects. Now, you should have completed by now the introduction part of the project. If you have not done so, then you may be falling behind, and I strongly urge you to try to catch up by completing the introduction as soon as possible and then moving on to the data collection part of the paper. Now, I want to just record a brief video here to just show you, give you some pointers as to where I expect you to get your data from. Now, in the project that you're given, I have given you guys a template which you can get. Let me take you first to this country project module. So this is the home page. So if you click on modules, this will take you to the modules. And then in the modules, you have a country project module, which is the second one below the orientation, welcome and orientation. Now, in this module, the second item in the module is the country project. These are the full instructions for everything that you will be doing. So if you click on this one, you will open up the page for the full instructions. Here you have a description, step 1, country introduction, then step 2, table of economic indicators, which I expect you to complete by say May 13. This is an estimated time frame within which I expect you to complete this part of the project. Now, if you click here on country analysis project template, I have provided you with a template. If you click on this, you should be able to download that. You see, it will start off a download of a Microsoft Word. Then normally you will have to enable editing, and then this is your template. This is what you want to fill out. So I want to focus on the table part of the template right now. So here you have you want to find information on the official name of the country that you're working on, that you have been assigned, this geography and neighbors, its geographical location, its political system. I will end up with this. These pieces of information are not difficult to find. You can find some of these from the CIA World Factbook and other areas. I want to focus for now on the economic indicators, the data that you have to collect. So you want to collect data on these pieces of information: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is very important that you get your data from the right sources so that it can reflect the most accurate information. Now, to get this data, let's go back to these are the instructions. You can either go directly from here, because in the instructions about getting the economic indicators, I provided 2 links here. This one link is to the CIA World Factbook. The other link is to the World Bank World Development Indicators. I want to focus on the World Bank World Development Indicators for now. Most of the data that you're going to be getting, you will get from this database. So now if you click on this link, World Bank World Development Indicators, it should open a new page to the World Bank database. So in this database, you'll be able to collect all that information. So let me just give you an example. Say you are working on, okay, before I do that, let me give you the different sections of this database so you know where to get what. So you see here, it says database. This one I have already selected. It was pre-selected for you. So when you log in here, you will be able to, you already have this one. Next, you want to select your country. When you click on this drop down, you will see a list of countries that you want to work on. If you have a hard time scrolling through and looking for your country, just go in here and type the name of the country. Let us say you are working on let's say you are planning to work on South Africa. So you want to go here and look on South Africa. Moment you type South, you can click search. That should bring up everything related to South. Now click highlight South Africa. Now you have selected your country. Close this one or minimize it. Next, you see here under selections, one country has been selected. Next, you want to select the data series, the series that you want to collect data from. Now, if you go back to the template, you will collect data for all of these other information except for these two, main imports and main exports. Leave that for now. Go look for information on the exchange rates, the value of the real gross domestic product, the value of GDP per capita, which is gross domestic product per capita, the real GDP per capita growth rates, the growth rate of this data here, the value of exports, value of imports. You don't necessarily have to download data on trade balance. Once you have exports, you have imports, you can always calculate trade balance yourself by subtracting imports from exports. And then you get inflation rate and unemployment rate. So let's look for exchange rates and the other data. So when you go under series, again, there is a lot of series that you can search for here. A lot. It's like thousands of data that you can get here. Instead of scrolling through all of that, which will be a really difficult job, so just go here and look for EXCHANGE, exchange. Once you type exchange, click search, it should bring up everything that has to do with exchange. So that minimizes your search area to just 3 things. So look for official exchange rates, which is the local currency per US dollar. Select that, and then you've selected that. Now clear your search, and then look for the other data, the other variable that you want to search for. Close this. The next one is real gross domestic product, which is a GDP. Now go in here again and look for GDP, gross domestic product. Now this is going to bring up a lot more data because there is a lot of information or data that is related to GDP, but at least it's kind of breaks down your search into much smaller area than you will have if you set to search through everything. Now go here again. You see, now look for GDP, real gross domestic product, constant. You see, these are the GDP numbers here. So you see, you have 4 of them. You have this. It says GDP constant 2007 US dollar, 2010 US dollars. You have GDP constant local currency unit, GDP current local currency unit, GDP current US dollars. You want to select constant 2010 US dollars. That is basically the real. Constant here is another name for real GDP, which has been adjusted for inflation. So select that. You see under selection, you've now selected 2 data series. Clear the search again. Oh, I should not have cleared it, by the way. Let me go back there. GDP. Now, once you are under that, you can search for other, let me go again, search again. You can search for other GDP related variable. For example, GDP per capita. So let's go. You see here, you have GDP per capita. Again, you want to choose the constant 2007 US dollars. You have that. Now you've selected 3 here. Then GDP per capita growth. Don't look for GDP growth. look for GDP per capita growth annual. You select that. Now you have selected, let's see here, GDP, you have GDP, you have GDP per capita, you have GDP per capita growth. Now you've selected all variables related to GDP. Now you can move on and clear your search. Let's clear this. Now let's look for trade, data related to trade. Or you might find trade, but let's look specifically for export, EXPORT, exports. Now you want to look for data on exports of goods and services. There is exports on goods, there is exports on services, but you want to look for the one that has both. So let's see here. You want to look for exports on goods. Look at it here. Exports of goods and services. BOP here means balance of payment, current. So you want to look for that. Let's see here before we select that. Maybe want to look for constant. Again, you want to look for the constant values. So you see here, by the way, if you can select all constant values, except where there are no constant values available. So now that's export of goods and services. You've selected that. Now clear your search again and go for imports. Search import of goods and services current. Now you want to look for import of goods and services constant, which is the real imports constant. Here you have it here. Now you've selected that. Clear your search again. Now you want to look for data on, forget about trade balance. Like I told you, you can always subtract import from exports yourself and get the trade balance. Look for inflation rate and unemployment rate. Now let's go in here, look for inflation, search. That's inflation. You want to select the consumer price index, inflation rate, consumer price index, annual percentage. Now you've selected that. Clear your search. And next, look for unemployment rates. Again, this is going to be expressed as a percentage. Unemployment, you want to look for unemployment rate of the total population. There's unemployment on females, males, and different other age categories. But you want to look for the total percentage of the total labor force. So you select that. That's the last of the data that you want to look for here. I'll show you where to get this. You can get this main import and main export from the CIA World Factbook under trade. So now that you have selected all your data series, you have 8 here, except for these two and the ones on the top. Now what do? You want to close this. Now, as you can see from the table, I have selected 3 years, 2014, 2015, and 2016. So now that's the last thing that you have to do. So you want to select the time, because you see you still have 0 for time. So now you want to go in here and select 2014, 14, 15, and 16. Now you can see here that you have selected 3 years. So you have made all your selections. Now you want to apply changes. So you can have that data extracted out, kind of. Not was slated to be extracted, to be downloaded. After you apply changes, next you can click on download here. When you click on these download options, You can download it as an Excel or CSV. I like using Excel, so let's download this as an Excel document. Straight off, it will try to download in an area in your computer. So let's go to document. Here I have I'm going to download it into the Econ 101 country project folder. So I download my data there. You can change the name, of course. You can call it country project data. So that's my country project data. That's what I call it, so I don't forget. And then click on save. Now you can go into that folder and click on country project data and view your data. Now that's the data that you have. Again, you want to do enable editing. So once you have this, you see the name of the country is South Africa. These are the country code. This is the country code ZAF. Every country has its 3-letter country code. Series name. These are the names of the different data that you collected. They also have series code. You don't need this, so you can go ahead and safely delete this. It doesn't hurt to delete that. This is what you are interested in. Now you want to transfer this data onto the table that you have. But for most of this data, for some of them, you want to express. Again, let's have the year here, 2014. You have 2015. And you have 2016. Now, for some of these, you want to express in a 1 decimal place. So if you select all of these to format the data, you go here, express it. If you just put comma, that will make the data much nicer. Just click on comma after you select, then you see everything is expressed to 2 decimal places. If you want to reduce that, you can, I think, decrease this. Yes, now you have it in 1 decimal place. That's good enough. Now you want to take this over to your table. Keep in mind, when you put the data in your table, you want to make sure that you include the units. For example, currency exchange rate, you want to make sure you include the unit for that, for the real GDP per capita, and for every other data. And if the data is expressed in millions, you want to make sure you make that clear. So let's go here. So what I will do is I will do this side by side, have the data here and have my table here, and make sure I have the data so I can see it. I can expand this a little bit here. Yeah. So the data for the exchange rate, you can either type it directly or what. So you see official exchange rate, it says local currency unit per US dollar. So you don't need to put the average, but you want to make sure you put that in here in brackets. You can just say local currency. By the way, don't say local currency because then that's just generic. You want to make sure you personalize it to the country that you're working on. So since we are working on South Africa, and South Africa uses currency, South Africa has its own currency. I'll have to, let me check here for the currency of South Africa. Go here, South African currency. This will give you the name of the South African currency if you don't have it. It's called a rand. So when you go to your table, you want to make sure you write that here, rand. So local currency should be replaced by the country's currency. So you want to say rand per US dollar. It is very important. Don't just put the numbers there. So you have for 2014, it's 10.9. For 2015, it's 12.8. For 2016, let's see. For 2016, it is 14.7. So this currency is losing value against the US dollar over these years. That's what this say. Because you are using more and more of it to get the same $1 as the previous time. So it's 12.7. So you have the data for your US dollar. Now, value of real gross domestic product. Again, let's see what we have here. You see here, it's constant 2010 US dollars. So value of real GDP, you go here 8. You can, if you like, you don't have to write constant, but it is very important to write that if you, for completeness. Constant is the same as real. That's what it means here, real. So you can say, since you already have real there, you don't need to write it again. Just say 2010 US dollars. So we know this is measured in US dollars. So I can come in here, since these numbers are bigger for 2010 to 14 rather, I would just want to copy here and I will paste here. Later I can do the formatting. You can do the formatting later, copy this and paste. Then you want to go here and copy this and paste. And then next, GDP per capita, which is what we have here, which is basically the real GDP divided by the entire population. So you go here. No, come on. All right, sorry about that. Now you go copy, paste, again, copy, paste, again, copy and paste. Now, don't worry about the formatting. You can always do it later. But again, you want to make sure you put here, this is in 2010 US dollars. It is very important. You either put it here or you can put it here. For example, you can put here, if you did not include here 2010 US dollars, you don't really have to include the 2010. It's actually not necessary. Just put US dollars, but you can put it here US dollars. If you do not want to put it in here, you can put it in against each of these numbers. And then you have that here for let me just take this out. You have the data for the GDP per capita. Next, the growth rate is expressed as a percentage. So you want to express that here as a percentage. That's a percentage. And then 0.3, 0.3, that's easy to type. The next one is, when you have the number in brackets, it means negative growth. It means there's a decrease. And as you can see here, between 2014 and 2015, there's a decrease in real GDP per capita. So this means there's a negative growth. And again, between 2015 and 2016, there's a decrease. So again, you see negative growth. So how you enter that here, you can say negative 0.1, and then you go negative 1.0. Now, it will be very odd for you to have real GDP per capita decreasing and then have positive growth here. That is not consistent, and you want to make sure your data is consistent. Next, you want to look for export, value of exports. That's what you have here. Let's make sure we have exports. Yes, exports on top of import, and then inflation and unemployment. Value of exports, again, that is expressed in US dollars. Copy, paste for 2015, copy and paste for 2016. The value of imports, let's do this. Oh, I am putting it under main import. Don't make this mistake that I'm making. Now you want to go here. Let's cut everything and put it here. Good. Now next, you want to get the value of import. Let's copy that there and paste it. Copy that from here and paste it here, and then get this last one and paste it. Do not forget, this is expressed in US dollars, as well as this in US dollars. And the trade balance is also going to be expressed in US dollars. Now, I'm not going to do that for you, but I'll just show you how you will do it. Just basically subtract, say, exports minus import. This minus this, so this number should be positive because exports are greater than imports here. Here, exports are less than imports, so this should be negative. Exports, or if you want, before you even transfer it, you can create a column here below exports, or below imports rather. Let's go insert. Now you've inserted a column. Next, I will do this. Go here. Excel will do it easily for you. Equals, you see this guy right here, minus this. I said I was not going to do it for you, and now I'm doing it. So you extend this here. Now you have your net exports. You see, so you see the numbers are in brackets again, indicating that they are negative numbers, which is the trade balance. So just copy this, copy and paste here. Now the fact that it comes in as a bracket shows that it is a negative number. You can leave it like that, or you can take off the bracket and just make sure you insert the negative number. Copy, paste. Then we have inflation rate, which is also expressed as a percentage, and unemployment rate is expressed as a percentage. Next, you go here. Inflation rate is 6.1 for 2014. For 2015 is 4.6, which means inflation is decreasing. Good thing. Oh, it's increasing again in 2016 to 6.3. Next, unemployment rate is really high here. It was really high in 2014. 24.9, continues to increase, 25.2. Then 26, it's on the rise, 0.5. Now you have completed, well, you have partially completed your table. This is very important. Now let's close this. We are done with this for now, and let's expand this. So now you want to get the official name of the country, geographic location and neighbors, and a political system. You can get this from the CIA World Factbook as well as these ones. So I'm not going to complete that, but I'll show you where you will get it. So if you go back to your country project, yeah, you click on this CIA World Factbook link. This should take you to this where you can look for your country. Now look for South Africa. Scroll down and look for South Africa right there. It should open up the page for South Africa. Once you're here, you can get information about the country here, the geography. For example, under geography, it tells you where South Africa is located, the southern tip of the continent of Africa. You can get its neighbors here, border countries, Botswana, Lesotho, and so on and so forth. That gives you the neighbors. So that should give you information about its geographic location and neighbors. Political system, just read under the politics of the country. That should give you the information. Now let's go to the economy. Of course, you have the let's look here for South Africa. Let's come on. Okay, let me close this. Let's go under the government. This gives you the official name, the Republic of South Africa. So you can copy this and put it in your table. And government type, it's a parliamentary republic. So that gives you the political system. I'm not going to complete that. So parliamentary republic here, you have the name of the country, Republic of South Africa. I've shown you where to find geographic location and neighbors. And then go under the economy to get the what? Economy of South Africa. Now you want to scroll down. Do not get, it's very tempting to come and get this data from here. Do not get numbers from here. These numbers are not accurate. So go down here and look under trade. Okay, exports. Yes, export commodities. So you see here, export commodities. This is the information you want to get to complete this section of the table. Main exports. So that those are going to remain the same throughout for the 3 years. So whatever you have here is the same thing that you have here and here. So basically, just get all of these: export gold, diamonds, platinum, other metals and minerals, machinery and equipment. And then you can also get import commodities, machinery and equipment, chemicals, petroleum products, scientific instruments, and food stuff. So you want to make sure you put this again here in under import. You are done with your table. So just the next thing you want to do now is format it. If I was you, I would just make sure I select everything, make sure I have everything in the same font, because you don't want your table, some data in some font, some all in Times New Roman, and make sure all is the same size 12. So you're done with that. So that is it for collecting your data. And again, these are instructions. You want to make sure you remove this. Do not leave these instructions here. Take this out. So you have just the title of your table here. And economic indicators for, you want to replace this here with the name of the country. For South Africa, you are done with your table. So this is it for getting information on your table, for completing your table. You can do all of this in a very short time. I was trying to walk you through, so it took me a long time because I needed to show you the different areas. But if you're just focusing on working on your country, you don't have to shoot anything to anybody. You can do this really quick. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to help you. Please send me an email. But before I go, I want to show you one last thing here. Now, when you go to the modules here, under modules, go to the country project module, click on library guide for country project. Under library guide, click on this, and then click on this link in the next page. It will take you to a library page for this class, for this project. So in this library page, you also have a lot of resources here that you can use. Now go to economics websites. This should give you a lot of economics related websites that you can use to get information from. But I want to show you specifically something that will be of great importance to you, which is this Europa World Yearbook. You can get a lot of information here also to write about the country. You see there's a student here photographed in a library holding that book. You can get a hard copy of this book in the library. You can go to the library, but you cannot take it out and use it there. Or you can click here. But to access this book online, you have to be logged in as a student. Log in here, your username. My username is that, and I can enter my password. Then log in to access Clark College Library databases. Once you are logged in here, you can get information here. You go here and search for your country. Again, look for South Africa. This is just for some additional information about the country that you're working on. South Africa is right here, and then click on Go. This will take you to this page for South Africa, where you can find information on the Republic of South Africa, of course, which is the official name of the country. You have area here, size and the population, population density, life expectancy, something about the GDP, finance, the economy, and government and policies, society. You have country map, flag, profile. This gives you information about the profile of the country. You can go for location, climate, and other things and read. So here you can also get a lot of information you can use in your introduction. If you have not written your introduction yet, you can get a lot of information here. If you have written your introduction and you want to improve on it, all the information that you asked about in your introduction, you can get from this page. Now let's go back. There are other areas here where you can also get some other information, some databases, and there is information here on search tips. And again, there is information here on APA style, because you are going to be formatting your paper using APA style, and how to avoid plagiarism. You want to make sure you properly reference any sources that you get information from. So I wanted to show this to you. Let's go back to the home page here. I wanted to show this to you. By the way, let me just go here to under APA style. You can see link here, APA handout, and this gives you other information on how to format your paper using APA and how to do your citations and everything. So that will be very helpful. And everywhere you go, there is information. You can go to, if you need help with using some of these things, go to the library. There is somebody here that can help you. Just ask for help, and on your project paper, they always have people in the library to help you. So that is it for now. I know this recording has taken a really long time. I said it was going to be short, but it is good to be thorough so you can have all the information. If you have any questions, send me an email, and good luck.